Hey guys, so I'm going to move through these first two slides pretty quickly, but I'm just going to help you guys out with the Google slide assignment. Make sure you follow directions and complete the work on all the slides. If you have any questions, write them on a separate sheet of paper and bring them in to me. And once you're complete with the 4 activities on the slides, make sure you click through and do the exit ticket on the Google form that's on the very last slide. So, as you can see, we're going to do 3 slides. There's slide 3, there's going to be slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, and slide 6. But remember, that last slide does have an exit ticket. All right, so let's look at this first slide. Follow the instructions to translate the points A, B, and C on the graph below. Then type the ordered pair in the translated box. So I kind of already did this one for you guys. Let me move it back. But box A right here, it says translate point A, which is right here where I'm going to go ahead and draw my little green dot. Translates 9 units right and 3 units up. And then it says drag the blue dot to show the location. So I'm going to start with this A, and I'm going to count 9 units to the right, which is going forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which basically gets me to that positive 2. And then it says to translate 3 units up. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, and I know my new point is going to be right. Doesn't want to let me draw my point there. So I'm going to grab this blue box, this blue circle, because it matches that color of A. See if I even grabbed the right one. Nope, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm going to move it to 2. Did I get it right there? I think that's right. 1, 2, 3. So now over here, I'm going to write my new coordinates is, we're going positive 2 on the x-axis, and we're going down to a negative 4. So I'm going to type that in or write it into the box, whatever you guys have. So now on your own, complete box B and C. All right, this slide is a little tricky. There are 2 statements for each box, each translation below. So using the shape toolbox, you can circle the false statements and then correct and retype the statement in the right box in the correct form. So I'm going to do A and B with you, but for A right here, it says in A, the figure was translated from quadrant 2 to quadrant 4. Well, if you remember from our workbook pages, when you have a little dash, I'm going to circle this box right here. When you have that little dash, that is actually the translated image. So that's not the original image, that is the translated image. So we know actually it's translated the opposite direction, because this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is 3, and this is 4. It actually starts in quadrant 4 and is then moved to quadrant 2. So I'm going to rewrite A as figure A was translated from quadrant 2, and I'm going to repeat that. Quadrant 4 to quadrant 2. And if I look at B, it said, I'm going to erase that. And if I look at B, it says the translation can be represented as x comma y, which is any coordinate, as x minus 6 comma x plus 5. So I'm just going to pick one point on my original shape, and I'm going to say it's that one. And if we look, we're trying to move it to this vertex over here. So we're starting with this vertex, and we're going to move it to that vertex. And let's see if the x goes back 6 spaces and up 5, because y would be going is the vertical and x is the horizontal. So right here it says x minus 6. Are we going backwards 6? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say, yep, we definitely are going back 6. And are we going up 5? Because we have a plus 5, not a minus 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say, yep, that works. So I don't have to change that at all. Okay, now let's look at B together. B says this is the pre-image, so this is our original over here. And the second one is our translated image. I'm just going to write trans period up here so we know it's translated. So right here on the x coordinate, it says we started at a -4, and then we're moving to a -2. If we start at a -4 and we move to a -2, I know that we are actually adding 2, right? To go from a -4 to a -2, we're adding 2. Now, if I wanted to go, oops, wrong one. Find my eraser. Okay, now if I want to look at my y value, what am I doing to my y here? If I'm going from a -8 to a -6, I would say, again, I'm adding 2. So in A, it says XYZ was translated 2 units to the right. Hey, was it? Yep, we added 2. And 2 units up. Yep, we added 2. I would say A is correct. But if I look at B, we look at our rule. Instead of adding 2, they subtracted 2. So I'm just going to rewrite my rule down here. X comma Y is translated to X plus 2, Y plus 2. I want you to go ahead and try C on your own. All right, on this slide, it says the graph below represents the map of a summer camp that offers activities shown. The pink arrow indicates where Sasha is beginning at. So that's where she's at, right where this arrow is. That is where that point is where Sasha is starting. Use the map and drag the solution to each box below into the white box. We'll write for number 1. I'm going to do number 1 with you, and then I want you to try 2 and 3 on your own. It says Sasha wants to go skiing first. Which translation represents how she would get skiing? So I'm starting at this point right here, where I'm drawing my little green dot. Let's see if I can get to a different color. Okay, I'm going to do a pink dot because Sasha's arrow is pink. And then it says, which translation represents how she should get there? Well, let's see. If I'm starting with my x value, one of these here, I want to find out, is she going backwards 5 or going forwards 13? Since we're starting with our x value first, and it is horizontal, remember, x values go left to right. We're going in the left direction. If I counted, we're going over 5 spots. And that probably the pink wasn't the best, so let's do blue. So we're going back 5 spots. So I would have to say this already is gone. And we definitely did go back 5 spots. So one of these 2 is correct. Now my y values, now I'm going to look and see, am I going up 9 or up 13? Because it's a positive. Both of them say plus. And are we going in the positive direction for the y value? Yes. So let's see, we're going up. If I counted each spot, I would say I went up 13. So, you can see here my y value goes up and down, and since we went up, it would be in the positive direction. So, I would then drag this, see if I can drag it into the box. So go ahead and try 2 and 3. All right, on this page it says draw a line to connect each translated point to the correct description and then to its correct algebraic representation. Not all choices will be used. So we are going to be matching these pink boxes, all of them. So all 4 of those will be used, but not all of these green, which is the correct description. And these are the algebraic representations. Not all of them will be used. So let's take a look. Let's do number 1 first. And I'm going to actually draw this on a separate piece of paper. I'm going to graph it. So here's my graph. And I'm going to rewrite my equation, my translation. And I have the coordinates. We start at the coordinates 2, 8, and we're translating it over to our second image that has the coordinates of -5, 1. I'm going to create a graph, and I'm going to see if we're going up or down, left or right, and if we're subtracting on the y-axis or adding on the y-axis or adding or subtracting on the x-axis. So let's create this graph. Let's see. So here's my graph, and I'm going to use green this time. Okay, so my first point is at 2, 8. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, and I'm going to count up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here's my point. So right here is 2, 8. My second point where I'm translating, so my translated figure is at -5. So we're counting back on my x-axis. 1, 2, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And my y value is +1, so I'm counting up. So here's where my second point is. So my second point is at -5, 1. And now I want to determine if I'm going up or down. Since this is my original figure, and this is my translated figure, I'm going to start with my x values. I have +2, and then I'm moving to a -5. So I'm going to count horizontally. What did I do to get there? I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I went left 7 spots, or that would be x -7 since I moved backwards. Okay, now I'm going to figure out my y values. Let's go to blue. Okay, my y values started at a +8 and I moved to a +1. So I know let me start at my 8 and move down. I got -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I moved down on my y values. I moved down 7, or that would be y -7. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I know I'm moving, my x values is left 7, and so it would be x -7, and my y values, I moved down 7, so that'd be y -7. So if I go back to my original screen, I would match that up with, I went 7 units to the left and 7 units down, which is the same as x -7, y +7. X -7, y +7. Try to do 2, 3, and 4 on your own. Okay, this last page is just a 2-question quiz. And not really even a quiz. It helps me out to know what I'm going to help you with in class. Go ahead and click on this link and complete the Google form. Good job, guys.